Well, in midst of this political slugfest, there is Vinesh Phogat, who's sitting in Paris, still trying to get to grips on how she was cheated of destiny. But the politics continues. Who's politicizing Vinesh Phogat? Is it the opposition or is it the incumbent, the government? Cutting across to political analyst Ashutosh, Rajat Sethi, JB Mehtar, Congress MP, Tuhin Sinha, BJP spokesperson, and Raghav Avasthi, political analyst. I'll cut across to JB Mehtar first from the Congress. JB, the fact is, today you're being accused of politicizing Vinesh Phogat. You were accused nearly a year ago where she was sitting on a pavement in protest, where you tried to politicize that protest. And now today to try and bring it up, rake it up in Parliament, you're doing the same.
Preeti, there's no question of politicization in this. It is about the emotions of 4 billion people, and how much we celebrated today hockey's team victory, and how much we were happy about Vinesh Phogat, getting it. But the next morning we all were sad. So it's about why it happened, how it happened, the trauma she had to undergo. It's the kind of trauma when whoever at that level is trying to compete for Olympics, what she had to go through. Let me just read a tweet of Vinesh Phogat of April 12, 2023. In that she says that कोई भी मदद करने को तैयार नहीं है. क्या हमेशा ऐसे ही खिलाड़ियों को भविष्य के साथ खेला जाता रहेगा? ब्रिजभूषण और उसके द्वारा बिठाया गया डम्मी संजय सिंह हर तरीके से प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि कैसे मुझे ओलंपिक्स में खेलने से रोका जा सके. See, imagine the plight of Vinesh Phogat when she had to tweet like that, saying that there is nobody to help me. That is just 1 year back. Imagine.
Okay.
She
but
is saying
JB,
that
allow me to come in. Allow me
nobody to help me.
Allow me to come in with a rebuttal, because number one, many would say that maybe a lot of people didn't agree with her protest, but they were with her when she was fighting for India on that mat, every bout by bout. Number one. Number two, I'll give you examples on why you're being charged of politicization. Aam Aadmi Party's Sanjay Singh actually calls for boycotting Olympics. Now that's absurd, because rules are rules. We might feel passionate about it, to scream out and say that why did she get disqualified is cathartic to us. But rules are rules, JB Mehtar. Number two, your very own, the likes of Randeep Singh Surjewala have tweeted out, and even on the floor of the Parliament said that the Prime Minister should have gone to Paris and try to figure the situation out. This is a little absurd, JB Mehtar. On the other hand, you have Mr. Hooda, who's saying, if I had a Rajya Sabha seat, I would give it to her, Vinesh Phogat. Now, don't you think this is politicization?
No, it is not politicization. All these are emotions. All these are emotions. And it is about when we wanted to discuss it is in Parliament, they do not allow it in Rajya Sabha. In Lok Sabha, one statement is made by the sports minister, wherein he claims out of the 6 minutes, most of the time he is spending it on what government of India has done, about 75 lakhs. That is too much coming from a sports minister, when our pride, when our daughter is in despair in Paris, touching upon the gold medal and then losing it. So imagine, this is not how a responsible government should have behaved. When the opposition want the discussion to be in the Parliament on such an issue where, it's all about emotions. Okay. Our country has emotions.
No, you're saying these are all emotional. That is, okay. You're saying these are all emotions coming out to the fray. I'm going to bring in Tuhin Sinha, but let me ask you a counter on that, because you've also charged of the government for not aiding and assisting Vinesh Phogat. A complete elucidation of that was given by the sports minister on the floor of the House, and more so, the entire support staff of Vinesh Phogat is provided for by herself. She has handpicked her own staff. JB, that's for you.
No, see, it's a case of, you have to look at it from the point of view, what she had to go through right from the beginning. From 2021, she has been complaining to Prime Minister of India that she is undergoing harassment. And what is the step taken by the Prime Minister? Has the Prime Minister taken instead? Brij Bhushan Sharan is given all the protection. And Sanjeev, if there are rules which says Olympic Association can take over a federation if there is a crisis happens.
Okay.
Why that didn't happen? Why
So
this
all of that,
Brij Bhushan
you're saying
Sharan and
all of
Sanjay
that
Singh are
came
given all
together,
the benefits
came
and red
together
carpet
in this
welcome
massive
everywhere.
emotional outburst by the opposition this time around. That's what you're saying. So Tuhin Sinha, at one end you have an opposition which claims to be very emotional about the current issue where concerning Vinesh Phogat. On the other hand, your government is charged of not being emotional enough. And I'll give you examples on that. Number one, it was deeply heartening right now. And I must say, the country takes so much pride. Our heart is bursting with pride to see the Prime Minister speak to our hockey players, ask them about their well-being, ask them about and congratulate them on getting a medal. You know, the same could have been done with Vinesh Phogat, if not the Prime Minister, the Sports Minister. She's gone through hell in 14 hours through the night. She was, before her weight became an issue, she was a confirmed silver medalist. And after that, we realized what she had gone through, not one call. Isn't that heartless?
Well, good evening, Preeti. Good evening, everybody. First of all, let me congratulate you, my fellow panelists, and all the viewers on India's spectacular performance in today's hockey and winning the bronze medal, and also the good news of Vinesh Phogat still being in contention, because I'm sure the effort of PT Usha has more results. Now, when the Prime Minister calls, I'm sure he would have called after the game, after the final match. But for Rahul Gandhi to immediately jump in and make all kinds of snide remarks, I think the Congress party needs to realize that India's sporting performances, whether victory or defeat, should not be used, should not be weaponized by it to score brownie points. Have we called Rahul Gandhi Panoti till now? We have not, because we understand that sports and politics should not merge or should not come together. Now, the point is, Vinesh Phogat himself has been on record. There is a video of not more than 3 years ago where she has said that Modi ji is the best Prime Minister from the sports point of view. She has said how he gets involved personally, irrespective of whether you win or whether you lose, how he has advised her on anger issues, and how he went out of the way to ensure that she got a physio of her choice before the Tokyo Olympics of 2021. So, to make all these absurd charges, and today I want to ask the Congress spokesperson, does she, while Surjewala may have still called it a conspiracy, one demented Congress spokesperson, Surendra Rajput, goes to the extent of tweeting, what he tweets? Hitler जितना भी नीच हो, उसने ध्यानचंद का medal नहीं छीना था. Is that what the Congress feels about what happened in Paris?
I think fair point. But I'll tell you
Modi
what.
government has always stood with sportspersons and will always.
No, you made a very, very good point, but I'll tell you what. Many would say what's good for the gander is good for the goose. You say they are politicizing the situation. I'll hark back exactly 10.5 months ago when they were on protest. Khota Sikka, Phuka Hua Khartoos, spent force. You and I both know not just leaders, not just people associated with BJP, cabinet minister rank said and used these words against these wrestlers. So it cuts both ways, and that's the sad part, because standing right in the middle of it is our sir, let it be, our wrestlers. But I'm going to bring in Ashutosh.
Since you
there
mentioned
are plenty,
the cabinet minister,
there are
name
plenty,
one. Since you mentioned,
I will.
Plenty. You name one. You name one official. You name one minister who has called them Khota Sikka.
Okay, one second.
Since you have mentioned this, who has
the WFI chief who was at that point of time, Brij Bhushan Sharan, called Vinesh Phogat a Khota Sikka. Number two, Phuka Hua Khartoos came in from Giriraj Singh.
Where is
Phuka Hua Khartoos came? Let's not get into it because it's not a blame game, sir. That's the point.
No.
And I want to bring
what
in,
happened.
The point is, let's not get into the politics of it. Allow me to open the debate. I'll come right back to you.
No, absolutely. What happened last year was what happened last year.
Make your point, sir. Make your point. You want to make it? Make it. Go ahead.
Yeah, what happened last year was extremely unfortunate, but you would recall that immediately after the complaints had surfaced, the IOA had appointed a 5-member committee, led by Mary Combe to investigate the case. Now, do you doubt the credibility of Mary Combe? Do you doubt the credibility of
So
PT
let's not
Usha?
discuss
Fact
what
is,
went
there
down
were
with the
some
committee because there were
inconsistencies
issues
in
raised
the
by these
allegation,
very
but
wrestlers where the committee is concerned.
yes.
It's not about the committee. But all I'm trying, my limited point, Tuhin Sinha, is if a section politicized Vinesh Phogat then, a section is politicizing Vinesh Phogat now. They might be on different sides of the divide, but it's politics nonetheless. Ashutosh, I want to bring you in. The question now comes, if we want to truly honor Vinesh Phogat, because as much as we are looking at it as a ray of hope with the CAS, that she be accorded a double silver medal, it seems improbable, at least for now. If it happens, it's a miracle. What is it that we as a country can do to say that, Vinesh, you've been practically one of the greatest of all times?
Preeti, if you had asked this question 2 days back, you know what would have been the answer? The answer is very simple. Vinesh Phogat was a non-entity according to today's establishment. You very rightly said, Kota Sikka, all these things were used. Look at her even tweet. Just few months back, nobody was coming to help her. And today, the Prime Minister is writing, I am very proud of you. These two things do not go together. The fact of the matter is that no action was ever taken by the BJP against the Braj Bhushan Saran Singh. That shows neither the government nor the BJP was on her side. Every attempt was made to project her, paint her as a vamp. And she was crying on 12th April too. Now suddenly the minister stands up in the parliament and says, we spent 70 lakhs for when she was crying. Where was the minister? What was he doing? Is he hiding in some bill or somewhere? So everybody today is finding all kinds of good things in Vinesh Phogat. The fact of the matter is that the BJP should be ashamed of that they did not take any action against the Braj Bhushan Saran Singh. Where was the bulldozer? Why the bulldozer did not demolish Braj Bhushan Saran Singh's house and residence? What was the bulldozer was doing then?
But no, Ashutosh, it's always nice to say where was the bulldozer, because why would you look at, it's a case which wasn't proven. What should have been done what should have been done, Ashutosh, in my limit, okay, allow me this.
No.
What should have been done is the wrestlers should have been taken seriously and not called propagandists. But to get the bulldozer out, let the case reach a conclusive end.
Preeti, how many houses has been bulldozed after the conviction? After the cases were proved?
Two wrongs don't make a right, Ashutosh. That's the sad part. Because if it's an eye for an eye, we'll all be blind. Raghav Avasthi, I want to
should be ashamed
But
of.
Ashutosh, if it's an eye for an eye, we'll all be blind. Let's at least, Okay.
They should be ashamed of.
All right. Okay. I want to bring in Raghav Avasthi in all of this. Raghav Avasthi, it is so sad, and I hope you agree to it, because collectively, as a community, we've got ourselves to a point where we've politicized this 29-year-old who did everything she could over 14 hours to squeeze the last gram of weight out of her body. And I hope at least we'd collectively admit that it started all the way back when she sat on that protest, had the audacity to take on the forces, was character assassinated. There was politics then by a different set. There's politics now by a different set.
There are two issues that are being mixed here. First, of course, is the veracity of the allegations that she made against Mr. Singh. Now, the veracity of the allegations cannot be proven or disproven, even if she wins an Olympic gold medal. And I really hope that she doesn't retire and comes back to win another Olympic medal. Evander Holyfield became world boxing champion in his mid-40s. So I'm pretty sure that Vinesh has it in. And I would really like to use this platform to urge her to recant her decision to retire. That's one thing. The second thing is, and I am somebody, probably the only person on the panel here who bench presses more than 100 kgs and has actually played competitive combat sports. I have two missing molars for it. So every athlete tries to reduce their weight as much as possible, because it is presumed that the lower you are from vis-a-vis your normal weight, the better are your chances at competing with the athletes who are competing in that particular weight category. Sometimes it works, but sometimes you try to compete in a weight category to which your body just doesn't belong, and then it doesn't work. So we need to have a dispassionate analysis without taking anything away from Vinesh Phogat's achievements, but the discussion has to be in silos. It cannot be that just because she was about to win a medal here, all that she said against Bhushan Sharan Singh would automatically become true. That is definitely not the case, because if that were the case, then instead of having lawyers and judges, why lawyers and judges argue or cross-examine witnesses? I think lawyers should just have freestyle wrestling bouts with each other, and issues can be proven one way or the other. That's not how things work in a civilized society. In a Game of Thrones world where trial by combats were prevalent, then we could have had a formulation like that. But in this day and age, we are in a society where there is rule of law. Vinesh Phogat's athletic achievements, even if she never wins an Olympic medal, they are worthy of adulation, admiration, and I'm pretty sure that she's a role model for young girls going forward. But
All
just
right.
because she's doing well in a sport doesn't mean that her allegations automatically become true. That's all I'm saying.
But I would reckon everyone admits she should have been taken more seriously than she have.
But
When
that
she made
doesn't
those
have
allegations
anything
instead of
to
being called a propagandist.
the extent to which her allegations have to be taken seriously or not taken seriously at all, whatever might be the case, has nothing to do with her achievements as an athlete. I've been saying this from the beginning. This discussion has to be in silos.
I tend to disagree, but then, maybe I'm a bit emotional about this case, because I think a lot of it also, Raghav, has to do with her performance. I think a lot of that rage she channeled into her performance, and many would say that. I want to just quickly get in last comments. JB Mehta, the true test of the pudding is in its eating. If you're not looking to politicize the situation, you're going into Haryana elections in 2 months from now. Will the Congress look at pulling in any of the wrestlers in politics, the likes of Mr. Punia, Bajrang Punia, or Vinesh herself? Or capitalize on that?
Preeti, politics and the candidates is a different matter, and I think that's it. This is not the time to respond on that. But Preeti, let me say one thing to the BJP spokesperson who said politics and sports should not be mixed together. Who is mixing politics and sports in India? Who is mixing? Who is supporting Brij Bhushan? Who is garlanding Brij Bhushan?
I'm running out of time. I want to bring in Tuhin Sinha as well.
The best of our athletes are saying, where were they?
Tuhin Sinha, I want to come you in. How is it? Because there seems to be perceptions which have been so staunchly drawn. The question is, if Vinesh doesn't get this silver, how do you honor her?
No, she's an icon and she will be honored, but I can't answer you that because, if you have to be promoted in India today, your bosses will decide. I would not be in a position to decide. But just 2 quick points. Since the Congress is aghast over the fact that the sports minister has mentioned some figures, why did the figures have to be mentioned? Because Rajpal Singh, the captain of the hockey team in 2011, had lamented that we don't even have proper sports gears. And today I'm glad that Ashutosh has endorsed the bulldozer politics of Uttar Pradesh, of Yogi ji. Why that was not used against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh? Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh would say that his entire career has been bulldozed. But anyway, had we used bulldozer against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, Rajdeep Sardesai would not have got the opportunity to meet him during elections and do that photo op. The law will take its own course, and Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh is nowhere today in the system.
10 seconds, Ashutosh, I need to move on. Quickly,
I normally don't agree with the Raghav, but today I agree with the Raghav for the simple reason because he believes in that once you are proven guilty, you are innocent. So the same rule should be applied to all those people whose houses are in the face.
I need to close the show, and I apologize. It's going to be a hard cut. My apologies. But let's just hope that the sliver of hope that we have for Vinesh for a joint silver medal materializes. It's going to be a miracle if it does. She has decided she wants out. She is retiring from wrestling. Let's again hope that it is a decision that has been made in an emotional state of being. But if she has decided to do so and she's going to stick with it, this is our tribute.
इस देश की जान ना, इस देश की लेडीज है। बात कुछ अलग सी है इनकी।
स्पोर्ट्स मेरे ख्याल से संघर्ष बहुत ज्यादा करना पड़ता है, चाहे कोई भी गेम हो, और जिंदगी में संघर्ष के अलावा कुछ नहीं मिलता। संघर्ष करोगे तो ही मिलेगा।
जितनी कोमल ये लागे है ना, उससे कई ज्यादा ताकत इनके बाजुओं में।
मैं बचपन से देखती आई हूँ कि मेरे को हमेशा मिलता है, लेकिन बहुत संघर्ष के बाद मिलता है।
हम मर्द माने या ना माने, पर सच यही है।
2024 is the year of Vinesh Phogat. Neil, it is one of the greatest comebacks the sport has seen.
Vinesh Phogat will be the talk of the town.